So in this video here, we're going to take a look at what can we use with like multiple functions. I've left the three functions from the previous video in there, and I'm just going to move this down a little bit so we can see a bit better, but I've turned them off. So you'll notice that my screen is blank. There's nothing on it right now. If I would turn this one on, it turns it on, and so on and so forth. So when I plug in an expression as such, there are times when we have two expressions and you notice that they meet at a certain point right here. Now, back in grade 10, you went through solving linear functions potentially, and sometimes you use graphing or algebra and such. In this case, it's using graphing to take a look at where is the meeting point, and it meets right here at this point. So what this means is that at 1.2 and 2.6, these two functions have are equal to the same value. So if I put 1.2 into here, and I'm just gonna gotta move that up a little bit. Let's see here. I'm just gonna use a different function or different. There we go. Okay. So this function right here is the red one. Okay, that's this one right there. Now, when x is 1.2, y is going to be 2.6. Now, that is something that is based on the function, right? If we plug in 1.2 in for x, it's going to give us 2.6. And the same thing is going to happen with this right here. So if we plug 1.2 in here, and the y is going to be 1.6, meaning that that point right there, okay, is where they have a shared value. Okay, it's a shared value. And instead of using algebra or graphing it using pencil and paper and then finding where the lines meet, this program lets us know exactly where they meet to, well, 3 decimal places at least. So normally it'll be a max of 3 decimal places that it'll show, but we can find where they meet. Now, it also shows us some other things. I'm going to turn off that highlight tool there, and I'm going to turn off the blue one. This line right here has a couple of significant points, one of them being the y-intercept, which you'll notice is right there, and the other one being the x-intercept, which is that point right there. So I'm just changing these around a little bit. So these are a couple of important points that we can see. If we're asked to graph something out and we're allowed to use DESMOS, we can use DESMOS to graph it, and then we can plot those points, draw a line through, and that will give us a nice even line. These are nice points, what you might call our x and y intercepts. When you are drawing a graph on any assignment, I expect you to have these points labeled. What is the x and y intercept? What is the x intercept? They can also be some significant points as well. So those ones should be labeled in your graphs. If we were to do this one right here, you'll notice this is the y-intercept at 0, -1, and the x-intercept is at 0.333 repeated and 0. And so those would be the x and y intercepts. And again, we can click on that. If we click on these points, they're going to show up and they're going to stay until we click somewhere else. Any other point along here is going to be, we won't be able to have it stay, so that will kind of fall off. Now we can find specific points. So let's say that I'm going to get rid of the blue one again. Let's say we want to find the red one where x equals 5. Okay, so x equals 5 is right there. So x is 5 and it's 4.5, but I can't keep that on there. It doesn't want to stay. I have to be very careful with finding that. I can also write in the equation x equals 5 right here. So this is where x equals 5, it's going to be a line. And when x is 5, y is 4.5 in that line. Okay, so if we were to type in 5 there, the y value would be 4.5. So it's a way of solving problems. I'm going to be using this in examples when we are trying to find where points meet. And so we can just type in another equation, x equals 5, and we'll get that one right there. We can also do, and I'm just going to type in another one here, y equals, let's say, -2. And so then go back to here. There we go, get rid of that. Okay, the purple line here is y equals -2. And so when y is -2, the x value is -8. And so it's a way of solving functions, which makes it a little bit easier.